Hey, we are a small snippet of Squanch Games, and we are here to tell you how excited we are to be a part of the Microsoft Games Show Extended.
Game Showcase Extended.
You know, Game Showcase Extended. What's the need for the extended? Why add that extra word?
It's like,
Is there one that's not extended? And that's why?
We're getting nods.
These guys are asking the real questions.
And that one's just called without the extended.
So that's just called
There's the normal one. I know what this is.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, we're happy to be a part of it nonetheless.
I do hope we see some more like Forza Motorsport like gameplay. We saw a very tiny snippet of the actual racing. That Rick and Morty game, even though it's not Rick and Morty, but it's got the voices of Rick and Morty. There's Forza, so maybe we will see some. So why didn't you, if there is going to be Forza Motorsport gameplay, why didn't you show it in the actual main show? If you didn't fanny about with all these fucking CGI trailers, you might have had time. Stop the fannying about. Yeah, that Minecraft game, CGI trailer, and then they showed a tiny snippet of the actual game, and it looked nothing like the CGI trailer. Arc 2 gameplay? Are you actually going to show gameplay from these games that you're showing in this little montage? Or is this all a lie? It's a lie! Hello! This is an extended showcase of the Xbox showcase with more gameplay. Yeah, I didn't know about it either until like yesterday, I think. Are we actually going to see more Starfield?
Welcome to Xbox Games Showcase
Real people.
Extended. I'm Aaron, this is Malik, and we have the honor of diving deeper into some of the most exciting and talked about announcements, as well as gameplay from the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase just 2 days ago. For the first time ever, the entire showcase was focused on games you can play over the next 12 months.
We'll see about that.
Aaron, you saw world premiere gameplay from Redfall and Starfield, and today we've got Bethesda's own Pete Hines right here to tell us more. You'll hear from the renowned developers behind the brand new Xbox franchise, Our History Untold. Dive into Naraka Bladepoint with our partners at NetEase Games, and so much more.
But first, we begin with a special look at how our fans got to celebrate the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase with a message from our very own Phil Spencer.
Phil Spencer. Philly Spence. Woo! Generic looking white dudes.
I love coming to events like this. You can just feel the energy, people loving to come together as a community, their love of video games, the Xbox fans. Just a really special time for everybody, myself included. Gaming has this unique ability to bring people together, whether it's saving
all
the world
Xbox
from
gamers
the
look the same.
aliens or winning a football game. It's so great. I love hearing from people. What did you like in the show? Those conversations with people that are here about areas that they like.
I don't think you listen to them. Surely they would say we want to see more gameplay.
People said we want to see more gameplay.
And then you didn't show that much apart from
I think this is our
Starfield.
biggest lineup ever in terms of just diversity of different kinds of games from different kinds of teams, different genres.
There's some franchises, Japanese franchises, don't always come to Xbox. We've been working on that. Today we obviously had Persona.
It's important to us. We not only have all the games coming from our internal studios, but also great independent game developers that we work with around the world. So could not be more excited for what we're doing with Kojima.
And he's got this really great idea for a game. And I want to be clear, because I know we say like experience and stuff. He's building a video game, but he has this real unique things that he wants to do in the game.
It's got to be so far away. It's got to be like
And I'm just really
5
proud to be in
years
an industry
away.
that can be part of so many people coming together.
Oh, it's Valheim. Is this on Xbox yet? I don't know. Where's my phone? I don't know where my phone. Where's my phone gone? I don't know. Shit. Let me have a look. Valheim, Xbox? Is it on Xbox yet? It is. Right now, Valheim can only be found on Steam. So it's coming to Xbox. PC Game Pass this fall, and it's coming to Xbox. So they've actually got new announcements in this showcase. Okay, I thought it was going to be like extended gameplay, not new announcements. Shouldn't that have been in like the actual showcase?
Bethesda opened the showcase with a dramatic gameplay demo for Redfall and closed it with Todd Howard showing us how deep the rabbit hole goes on Starfield. And we also got a sneak peek at upcoming expansions for Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76. Here to break it all down for us is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Pete Hines
Hello.
from Bethesda. Pete, how are you?
I'm great. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. So about a month ago, you all announced some delays for both Redfall and Starfield. So I wanted to give you a chance to tell us a little bit about the decision-making process for that.
Because they're not
Absolutely.
finished.
Look, with all the time that goes into a game, it would be foolish to rush it out the door before it's ready. I think we have
And they probably won't be
continued
finished
to
when
sort
they
of examine
actually
how we
release.
think about games and making sure that they are going to meet our players' expectations. Obviously, the last 2 years have really challenged us from a development standpoint. How we work now largely remotely, while a lot of our folks are not back in the office. And, that has an impact. I also think we've been thinking about things like release dates and when do we give those out and how do we make sure we give one out that we actually hit and don't have to change later. So it's not something we undertake lightly, but at the end of the day, I think what our fans expect, what Xbox fans, what Bethesda fans expect is a high quality game, and we want to do everything we can to give our teams the time to fully realize the games they're making.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's all about, right? Like delivering an amazing experience for the players out there. And
When
so,
did they announce
speaking of games,
Starfield?
we're just going to jump into it. We're going to start with how the showcase started with
Sounds good.
Redfall. Now, before we even get into the game, Arcane's making the game, and I want you to talk a little bit about the pedigree.
They
of
announced
Arcane, just
Starfield in
case people don't know.
2018.
Sure.
These folks over there, they're doing their
Remember
thing.
when they announced
Arcane
Fallout 4
Studios
and then
is
like
known
5 months later
for
it came
really
out?
amazing, immersive sims. They do any number of things. If you play games of theirs, Dishonored, Dishonored 2, Prey, there's a lot of common
I don't
threads
like
you'll
them.
find in
I
them.
don't
They
like any
create,
of them.
Really
I'm sorry.
amazing, believable worlds. I think that's a big part of their game is when you're in Dunwall or you're up on a space station in Prey, that it feels believable. There's a reason why things are the way they are. They're also a big believers in systems-based as opposed to scripted. So they really embrace player freedom and sort of giving players the tools to decide, you figure out how you want to complete this mission or get through this area. We're not going to tell you how. We're just going to give you tools and then give you the freedom to go and do. But, there's great characters and interesting story. They bring a lot of different elements and then really let the player create the experience they want.
And that's what it's all about. Gamers have taken many games and made it their own. And I think the fact that Arcane is making the game with that in mind is super important. Now, how similar or dissimilar would you say this game, Redfall, is from the other Arcane games?
Look, on the surface, it's a first-person shooter that you can play solo or with, up to 4 players. And so immediately you might say, well, it's not a single-player game, so it must be wildly different. And don't get me wrong, there's absolutely ways in which it is different. But I think when folks play the game, and even when they see more of the game, I think they'll start to see all of those things about an Arcane game that they love and appreciate. Why it's won multiple Action Game of the Year awards for Dishonored 2, is their ability to bring all of those things together, really high level of polish, and let folks experience it. And so I think all of those things we talked about. If you want to play a game by yourself and get a great arcane story, you can absolutely do that in Redfall. But you can also do things that you haven't been able to do in an arcane game, like experience it with friends and find out sort of how the whole.
We're showing the same gameplay from
parts, like
the actual showcase.
Characters' abilities. You saw some of that in the demo that we showed. You know, I think the more that people appreciate that, you almost are going to want to try and play Redfall a couple of different ways. You might want to play it by yourself a little bit, play it with others.
I didn't realize this was the extended interview showcase.
I'm glad you talked about playing with friends, because I'm taking applications for friends to help me get through Redfall.
Can I put my name on that list? I'm down to a little.
It'd be an honor. Pete,
keep me on that list.
All right,
we need to go explore Redfall together.
I'm excited. I can't wait for that. And so let's talk a little bit more about the game. Now, you know, between the trailer that we saw last year at the reveal, as well as this one that we just saw, I feel like Redfall reminded players of other co-op shooters like Left 4 Dead, for example. What makes Redfall unique?
Vampires.
Again, it's one of those things, like if you watch just like combat footage, you might look at Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood or any of these things and go, oh, I see multiple characters facing a bunch of enemies, and like, so it's the same game. But I think that would be doing a disservice, that it's all of the things that take place in between the combat as well as the combat itself, sort of combining different skills and abilities in the way that you do. You know, Layla dropping down an elevator using her powers that Jacob can use to get up top on a roof and provide cover. You know, you have different characters who play roles really well, how you choose to use Brebone, the robot. All of those things come into, again, allowing the players not to say, here's a set of rules and you can only use, like, no, here's just some stuff that you can go off into this amazing sort of dynamic, ever-changing world and sort of experience and explore for yourself. And you come back the next day and it'll look and feel like a different experience, even though you're in the exact same part of the game. I mean, I think those are the kinds of things that Arcane does that really bring that sort of extra special element that makes their game so compelling.
Yeah, compelling.
What are you
fresh.
talking about? You're talking nonsense, surely.
For everyone to see that we're going to be playing together. So I'm going to hold you to that.
Absolutely.
You got the proof. All right.
Can't wait.
Awesome. So let's talk about Elder Scrolls Online. Now, I wanted to talk about the team philosophy, because I hear that the team is actually banned from saying things like, now is the perfect time to play.
My least favorite saying is, there's never been a better time to play a game. Like, we all say that. Yes, games always get better. We know that. The thing that we love about where Elder Scrolls Online is going is their ability to continually refresh the experience for players, provide new experiences, like going to High Isle, a place they've never been in. An Elder Scrolls game, it does a lot of things like story and intrigue. There's a lot of politics in High Isle, different factions and the conflict that's going on there. And again, a way that you can jump in and play by yourself and experience it by yourself, even though it's an MMO. But the real special sauce of Elder Scrolls Online is our amazing community. They're so welcoming. They're so helpful. You know, if you need a little bit of help, if you need a lot of help, they're there for you to help explain, to make sure you have a fun experience. And honestly, like, that is such a huge part for an online game, of creating an environment where anybody, no matter whether you just started playing or you've been playing for 8 years, can have a good experience, no matter how you decide to engage with it.
I love that you mentioned that. Community is as you mentioned, is such a huge part of any online game. And so for players who may not have played Elder Scrolls, who are, like you said, looking to jump in, to know that they have that community backing them, that's going to help them, guide them in their journey, is super exciting. So, but I want to talk about Fallout a little bit.
Okay.
Huge milestone recently, 25 years of Fallout. It can rent a car even now. At this point, right? We're talking about it. All right, so this has to mean something super special to the
Absolutely.
team.
How do you feel that the best Fallout game was not made by you?
Anybody. Like, this franchise did not start with Bethesda.
Exactly.
It's one that we took on along the way, and our intent is not just to
made
pay
the
homage
worst
to,
Fallout
like,
games.
Bethesda Fallout. Like, no, we mean all Fallout, because what this series has done, what it meant to us as players when we went and played those games, played the original Fallout, Fallout 2. And then what the franchise has become, and sort of growing and finding an even, a new audience with Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 76 is something we really want to celebrate. And honestly, what's going on in Fallout 76 with the pit and your ability to continue to push the boundaries in an online game of story and meaningful player choice, and as you're going along, making decisions that kind of matter and have a real impact, I think is important in the evolution of Fallout 76. And just honestly, how far that game has come from its
long are they going to
like,
keep supporting it for?
Aware of how
When
that
are they going to
launch went, but
finally
we're
like
also keenly
drop
aware
it?
of the incredible
be that
amount
long
of
away.
effort and dedication from all of our teams across Bethesda to say, like, we believe in this thing and we want to give the fans more of what they want and the kind of experiences that they want. And where Fallout 76 is now is truly remarkable when you go back and look at sort of where we were and how far we've come, and honestly how much cool stuff is in store in the pit. It's going to be super fun.
Excited to jump in, and again, that's one of those things that I'm sure you guys attribute to the community, giving that feedback.
You know, that 76 community, again, not just in the game, but what they do for each other, to support other folks in the community, what they have done to raise funds for worthwhile causes. Like, it's not just an amazing group of gamers, it's an amazing group of human beings, and honestly, one that we're honored to interact with and be a part of every day.
I love that, Pete. Before you make me cry, we're going to move on to Starfield, all right?
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about it. Starfield ended the show. I got to say, watching the trailer.
Are you going to show
breathtaking.
anything
It's
new
one of those things from the different
it?
locations
No.
and just seeing the difference between that moon versus the populated city. Just amazing. The dog fighting, just everything was so awesome. The team really outdid themselves.
It's one of those things about a Bethesda Games Studios game that I always love, and it's been the case, honestly, since, you know, I worked on Morrowind and Oblivion and all those games that, you know, we talked about. And for every single one, you cannot pin people down to, oh, it's about this, because it's not. Like, ultimately what those games are massive sandboxes where they give players just ridiculous amounts of freedom to say, you go figure
thought
out
we could
what
pinpoint
kind
it.
of game you want to play and what kind of
I
experience
thought it was
you wanna
about,
have,
you know,
because that's what this game is
choices
about.
that
It's not us
matter
prescribing
and actually
saying,
have an effect
you
on
have
the
to
world.
do these things. And like, no, it's about creating this huge sandbox.
It's not supposed to be a
1,000
sandbox.
planets that you can completely explore and say, yeah, but you don't have to. Like, it's entirely up to you to figure out what's
supposed to
what
be a
is fun
game
for me. Do I want
with
story?
awesome
Do I wanna
stories
join
around every
factions? Do I wanna,
corner,
you know, build
surprises
outposts and
around
gather
every corner,
resources to build more
with
cool
crazy,
stuff. The
kooky
team really puts all of
characters.
those tools in the player's hands and step back.
Not
and says,
not an empty
now it's time
sand
for you
pit.
to tell the story of Starfield, which is your story, which is going to be different than mine, which is going to be different than everybody else's. And I think that's really where the magic of a Bethesda Game Studios game happens.
Speaking about the scope of everything, Todd said that this is what an epic RPG is. What does Bethesda define an epic RPG as?
I think, again, it's sort of leaning into, look, there's a lot of
I am
folks
a
who
politician.
take a lot of different approaches on what does an open world mean. And Bethesda Game Studios always pushes
I will not give a straight
themselves to
answer.
the most freedom and least limitations, right? Where the items in the world are all real things. You walk into a store and there's a bunch of weapons or whatever. Like, that's not just art on a countertop. Like, you could pick those up. You could steal them and run out of it. You can create chaos. Like, we don't want to put too many limits on what the player is or isn't allowed to do. We love it when players say, I wonder what happens if, and then they try it. And then they get to see, like, oh my Lord, chaos ensued and it was insanity. Everybody was shooting at me. And like, that's, I think, the beauty of Bethesda Game Studios and the number of ways that they push for you to explore that, right? It's not just one, it's, you could spend thousands of hours doing nothing but shipbuilding and like focus that as all you're about, and that's okay. But you could also be about exploring every planet and finding all of the good, and that's okay. Or you could just play the main story and be like, I want a kind of experience that I'm guided through so that I kind of get to see stuff, and I might stop here and there. Oh, there's a cool side quest that I got, but you know, I want something that sort of leads me through, because I'm a little, you know, it can be a little daunting to say you can go do whatever I want. Like, ooh, I don't know what I should do. So some folks want a little bit of a guided path or to understand where the fun is. And
you see that
no
space
approach
station?
is wrong. Like, for
You can
me,
climb that.
That's epic, because it says we aren't putting any limits on what you can or can't do. We're going to set you loose and just sit back and watch the beauty that you create with your own stories and the way that you solve problems or choose to spend your time in this world we've created.
I love that. And you know, what you said about, you know, those moments that maybe you experience that I don't, like, those are some of the best moments if I think back to playing RPGs when I'm discussing with my friends. Oh, did you see that? No, I didn't see that. Where did you see it? And having them go out and find it. So I think that's going to be one of those things.
We talk about that a lot, that sort of water cooler moment. Of,
Exactly.
like, you come in the next day and you talk to everybody about
No
what
one
you
goes
did,
to
and
work
you're like,
anymore. We're all
"Wait,
in
I
our
did that
houses."
quest, but I did this completely different thing, and you sort of start to appreciate all of the choices that you could have made. You didn't even realize were an option. Like, oh, I didn't even think about doing that. Like, oh yeah, I just ran in and stole his ship and shot all of his crew members and took off. Like, you can do that? Like, oh yeah, you can do anything. Like that, I think that is a special part of a Bethesda Game Studios game. And when we say epic RPG, we mean all of the stories, all of them.
All right, you just gave me some ideas for stealing people's ships. So I appreciate that. That's going to be top on the list to do in Starfield. Now, we saw quite a bit of combat and action in the game. That seems to also be, in addition to exploring and everything, that seems to be another huge focus of the game.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, look, if you look at a game like Skyrim, which like everybody's played Skyrim at this point, it can, you know, a combat
Never heard
is a
of it.
big part of that. Unless you decide it's not. Like if you're one of those folks
What do you
that
mean?
says, actually, I'm going to do the alchemy thing, and I just go off and pick flowers and make potions and like.
Yeah, but then you don't get
live
anywhere in the
another
actual
life
game.
in another world this way, then combat isn't part of it. But look, we know in an epic RPG, there's always bad people, they, you know, shooting at you. Sometimes you got to return fire, and there's a lot of fun to be had there. And so, you know, providing a lot of different skills.
That's the exact
that sort
same,
of determine
like,
how good you
favorite
are in combat,
weapon system
combined
as
with all the
Fallout
different
4.
weapons in the game, and then you layer in ship combat and all of these other things. It starts to sort of paint a picture of just how broad or how deep the rabbit hole goes.
It's going to be so impressive. And you touched on it a little bit, and I want to talk about it because this was when I'm watching the video, the demo, what I saw, and it really caught my eye is around the ship. It's not just getting in the ship and that's your ship. There's so much behind it. Can you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, like every ship is customizable to the nth degree, and not just like cosmetically. I want my ship to look like this or look like that, though obviously that's totally a thing that you could do if all you care about is cosmetics. But it goes much deeper than that in terms of like what kind of shields you have, what kind of weapons you have, like what kind of ship are you building? What do you want it to be good at? What trade-offs are you willing to make or not? And then the other part of it is,
I want
of
it
course,
to be
well, you can't just,
nimble.
like, it's a spaceship. Those aren't cheap. So you have to figure out, like, how am I going to do this? Where do I get the resources to build this stuff?
Don't
What
want to
kind
do
of,
that. I
you
don't want to be
skills
grinding.
do I need to level up to improve different
No.
parts of my ship beyond, you know, what I could do without those skills. So there's a lot of, again, choices in terms of you get to decide that, how much you want to put into that or not. Do you just want to give somebody money for the parts that you want? Do you want to build it? All of those things are sort of part of the fun of deciding how much do you want to interact with this and how do you want to interact with it.
Absolutely. I mean, just as you mentioned, the scope, the level of player agency, something that I feel like is going to just make Starfield such a special experience. So between Redfall, ESO, Fallout 76, and Starfield, you all are just
We got a few
killing the
games
game.
coming. Yeah, we got a few games coming out.
It's going to be so great. Pete, thank you so much for stopping by.
You didn't show anything new.
Of course.
It's not
of
extended
course,
at
Pete.
all.
Now,
It's just a
coming up,
replay.
We'll hear from our friends around the world, including Squanch Games, Obsidian Entertainment, Playground Games, and of course, Xbox fans like you. But first, let's hear from the creators of one of the world's most popular Battle Royale games.
No. It's awful.
大家好，我是永劫无间制作人关磊。
We are glad to
首先，
share
感谢
Naraka
微软
Blade
的
Point,
24
a unique online multiplayer action game with players all around the globe. As a NetEase studio, 24 Entertainment is joining hands with Microsoft to bring Naraka Blade Point to consoles for the first time. You could play the game on Xbox Series X and S, as well as Windows next week. We're also joining Xbox Game Pass, a platform with a huge player base and a vast, bright future. Naraka has been so well received on the PC platform. I am so grateful to the players for their love and support. As a competitive survival game incorporating a lot of action elements,
Competitive
Naraka
survival
features a range of
game?
characters
What are you
with
talking
unique
about?
Personalities. Each
What are you
hero
talking
draws from
about?
different civilizations and cultures.
It's a battle royale
Battles
game
allow
where you
for a
run
great
around for
degree
about
of
10
strategic
years and
play.
you don't see
You've got a
anyone.
wealth of melee and ranged weapons to choose from, and a vast map filled with interactive elements to explore. Perhaps you'll engage your foes in samurai combat, katanas at the ready, or maybe you'll use Persian assassin techniques and strike from afar. With your grappling hook, you can fly between temple walls and across bamboo forests with ease. Beyond solo endeavors, you can also party up with friends and use group tactics to flatten your foes. That's Naraka's underlying design philosophy, that you're unchained and have the freedom to choose how you play. Collect soul jades to change how you play, transform your katana strikes, and make your cannon a weapon of mass destruction. Each hero can be customized too, whether you want to rush into battle as a berserker warrior or cast fireballs as a sorcerer. The choice is
I
yours.
love how they completely lie at the
We
beginning.
can't forget to mention our
basically.
unique face customization system too. You'll never need to worry about running into a doppelganger on the battlefield, because you're able to edit your hero's features to your heart's content. You can
Wow.
even recreate your favorite faces. As we approach Naraka's first launch anniversary, we're introducing a brand new weapon. The Twin
Whoa!
Blades,
A new
releasing
one
together
new
with the
weapon.
Xbox and Game Pass editions. Twin blades strike with the speed of a raging tempest and sweeping blows. We've seen similar weapons in other games, but here in Naraka, it comes with a style all its own. Charging up strikes is usually a high-risk, high-reward move. With the twin blades, you can charge up while moving and keep your momentum as you unleash a flurry
that
of
balanced?
combos on foes. Since its release, Naraka Blade Point has launched its own faction clash game mode.
The UI
with
looks
Omni's
so
Nightmare,
bad.
and the thrilling limited time mode, Shadow Surge. There have been many casual modes to play as well, but our community has eagerly asked for a campaign mode. We're always listening to our player base, and we're happy to announce that the wait is over. Players will see the first chapter of our campaign mode. Form teams of 3 to take on new enemy types and massive bosses. Disarming a boss won't be as easy as disarming another player though. PvP and campaign mode are two entirely different games. Further campaign chapters are also in the works, so we're eager to hear any feedback you have for us. We are also working on an Xbox One version and hope to
dear.
see more players join Naraka
No,
later this
let
year.
the console die for goodness
Naraka
sake.
is launching on Xbox Series X and S and
It's
Windows
awful.
Store on June 23rd, and it's included with Game Pass at launch day. Now's your chance to dive into the world of Naraka Blade Point.
快来体验我生无拘吧！
So we didn't see any gameplay for this. We just saw a CGI trailer.
History is filled
Are they going to
with
show the
moments of
exact
greatness.
same fucking CGI trailer
Well known,
again? Are
some
you joking?
lost to time.
You can't.
But what about the history that could have been?
You can't.
If you were its architect,
No. Are you joking?
how would you
Why
reshape
do they
the
have
world?
no appreciation for anyone's
What
time?
new stories would you tell?
Why? You don't need to do a live stream. You don't need to do a premiere. Just fucking
when your
release the
people speak,
videos. You know,
Would you listen?
on the channel, and people can watch them if they want to.
How would you lead them in this new world?
Where's the choice? They are showing the entire CGI trailer again.
History is filled with moments of greatness. But these will be yours.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Are you? What's going on?
I'm excited to welcome our friends from Oxide Games for a closer look at their historical grand strategy game for PC called Ara History Untold. Dan, Michelle, thank you two for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
And on behalf of the entire studio, we are really excited to be here and finally be able to talk about Ara.
I mean, we all are excited too. You just had the world premiere 2 days ago.
Show,
for Ara,
don't tell.
and
Show,
I have to
don't
say, I'm a
tell.
really, really big history fan. I love me some history, so I've been looking forward to talking to you two about this. Now, we all know this is not your first strategy game, but the vision behind Ara is so ambitious. So tell us more about it. And also for those who are new to Oxide Games, we would love to hear more about the studio as well.
So, Oxide Games was founded 9.5 years ago in my basement, actually, from the development leads of Civilization V. And our goal is to push strategy games to the next level.
And what's really great about working on a new IP is that you don't have kind of these previous expectations that a sequel would have. And so the sky really was the limit, and we got to really take the genre to a new space. And we really hope that not only will fans of strategy games like this, but people who've never played a strategy game before will find something they love as well.
You're absolutely taking it to the next level. I think I saw like a drone was in like
Is it
18th
City
century
Skyline?
or something like that. It's very, very fascinating. And I think that like If you're someone who really enjoys history, it's bringing like all the worlds together, all the periods of time together. And that's a grand vision in itself. So how does the vision of Aura impact the player experience within the game?
So one of the kind of big things we wanted to do with Aura was really explore how to make the game less about finding that optimal strategy, that optimal path, and really bring in ways to make it more meaningful to the player, make it unique to themselves. So what are different kinds of choices we can bring to the player so that when you play it's different than when I play, and yet we can both be competitive together? How can we do things to really impact agency and expression and really let you express your values and your play styles through the different mechanics in the product?
And Dan, what about you? How does the vision impact the overall experience?
So one of the big things that we've been working on is what we call the living world. We wanted the expression of the game to manifest itself.
It's a living,
in a way
breathing
that
world.
authentic and cool. So we've spent a lot of effort on making sure that the choices that you make are expressed in a visual way. And so you're going to see your citizens doing things that reflect the choices that you've made. And this is actually really challenging. So one of the goals when we founded Oxide was to not have to tell the designers, no, you can't do that thing. And so the game is obviously huge. It's just massive. And so it's a very large technological constraint from doing something like that. But we have our own proprietary engine that allows us to really bring this alternate Earth to life.
I think that's the beauty, right? Because in history, the great thing about learning history is that you learn about culture, you learn about stories, you learn about things that are probably brand new to your eyes. But the way that Aura helps you remix, reimagine, and rewrite history is a beautiful sight to see. And I'm excited to get my hands on it, and I'm sure everyone else is who's watching. So let us know, where can we learn more about it, and when can we get our hands on it? Because I need it today.
So if you head over to the website, you can sign up for the Insider program, which will give you a chance to join the technical alpha and play the game later this summer, which is super exciting because we've been playing it, all the time. And so now you'll have a chance to play.
Dan, Michelle, thank you two so much for giving us the lowdown on
We
Aura.
saw a
Really
very
appreciate it.
tiny amount
Thanks for
of the
having us.
actual game.
Grounded is
Not with any of the
finally leaving
UI
early
or anything,
access
not
and
how it's
moving
going to
into
look
full
when you actually
release
play
with
it.
a highly anticipated
More
story
like a
mode.
cinematic
Here's Adam
camera in
Bredeke
the
and
game.
Eric Dorabella from Obsidian Entertainment to tell us more.
Grounded? Your Xbox, you're grounded for lying. Where's the fucking gameplay?
What can players expect from the 1.0 launch of Grounded?
The big one, of course, is going to be a complete game, and that means story, right? From beginning to end, you can play through, why are you here? Who put you here?
Yeah, exactly.
And how are you going to get home?
Before you got
I think those are
shrunk.
like the big questions that people are asking about Grounded. Originally, we really just wanted to make a survival game. And one of the jokes was, hey, what if we did backyard survival? Everyone was like, yeah, that's a very unusual idea, but I think there's something there. One of the things that we did early on was establish the art style of Grounded. Things started coming to life as we did the initial prototypes and seeing some of the cool things, like the first time we added the spider into the yard,
yeah.
seeing the reactions of people in the office, even jump scares, people screaming. The team is very small. It's the smallest team I've ever worked on at Obsidian. I wanted everyone to be able to participate on the design side of things. So I said everyone is a designer on the team. And I think that extends into our community and how we're building the game in game preview and early access.
That's probably one of the big successes of the game, is how close we work with the community and take all their feedback and suggestions. I think it's super rad.
For a game developer too, that is a huge, huge thing, just to get people's feedback constantly of what they're liking, what they're not liking. And all those adjustments just make a much, much better game at the end of the day.
Microsoft Flight Simulator, are they going to show?
We're at that point now that the yard's getting finished.
The Pelican.
And now we can play through the story. There's a lot of surprises. There's a lot of things that I think players aren't going to expect. And I
think I know what you're talking about. I cannot wait to see players' reactions. I know a lot of players are just waiting for the story to be finished to finally jump into the game. People who played the game previously are also holding out for more content. I think it's just going to pull a lot of people back in and gain a lot of new players. So Adam, we have the Broodmother from last year. It was our first big boss. And then we came out with a bunch of mini bosses like Termite King and the Assistant Manager. But in this trailer, we're showing players the Mantis. What can they expect from this?
So we're super excited to finally show off the Mantis. I know that's been a big ask from players that they want to see a praying mantis in the game.
They've been asking for this for a long time. Do we have anything else that the players can get excited about?
You know, the mantis is just a little tease of one of the new boss fights, but there's more to come, right? Like potentially many boss fights that we have planned for the full release of Grounded. There's a lot more secrets and other things to uncover.
I might actually check this out when it actually properly releases.
When we reached 5 million players, that was already super crazy. And then we hit the next milestone of 10 million players still being Xbox.
Doubling it, right?
Yeah, in Xbox Game Preview Early Access.
That just goes to show that we have a fantastic game. Everyone's just so surprised at like how...
Well, Fallout 76 has 20 million players or something like that. It doesn't mean much.
I just hope that players and the community understand how important they are and impactful on this game with us.
You know, we're so thankful for everyone's support along the way. It's been an amazing journey, and we're finally almost at the finish line, right?
Yeah.
And I think we wouldn't be here without our amazing community and all of the fan support.
I agree. Best community ever. Yeah.
Phew. September. Okay, but no actual release date in September. No date. No date.
So I got a call from my good friend York Newman, the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator. He told me it was imperative that I meet with him. So I'm in this helicopter, we're flying to this location, we're on our way, let's go.
Who?
York! Hey, Paris, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming to DC, man.
No, thank you. What am I doing here?
Later. Let's get in. We don't have much time.
Oh, okay.
Get in it. Later, I'll tell you later. No.
All right, Paris.
Good going to the White House.
Contact us.
Are we headed towards Arlington?
It's still secret. I'm sorry.
York, what is this place?
Oh, you'll see. Let's go.
I think it's the same place we were just in. It's a hangar full of planes.
Wow, look at this place. Nick, how's it going?
Hello.
Paris, I would like to introduce Nick Partridge from the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum.
Thank you for having me. But this makes a lot of sense. I saw during the trailer there was a collaboration between the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum and Flight Simulator. Here we are at the National Air and Space Museum. So let's talk about that collaboration. Tell me more about that.
Well, Jorg and I have been talking for more than a year. He was looking for me, and it turns out I was looking for him to ask the same question, which was, don't you think that our organizations have a lot in common, dedicated to bringing flight to everyone? And
I was looking for the Spirit of St. Louis, which is in the Smithsonian ever since 1928. And the Smithsonian was gracious enough. They gave us a millimeter perfect scan, which is what we'll feature in the 40th anniversary edition. But as Nick and I kept talking, it was very clear, you know, the world's foremost museum for air and space, the Smithsonian. Yeah. And Microsoft celebrating its 40th anniversary. It's a match made in heaven, and there's lots of things we can do.
Yeah,
is this the place that
accuracy, access,
they went to in Night at the Museum too?
We're hoping that if everyone has as much fun in the community with the content that
Amelia
we initially
Earhart
collaborated on, a couple of our most historic aircraft, and some of the other aircraft in this center are already in the simulator, maybe we can jump in with both feet and do more in the years to come. Maybe even, who knows, we'll go crazy. We'll put the space shuttle in there.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
All right, you guys have never been here before,
no,
right?
This is my first time.
All right, so keep your eyes peeled, stick together.
He's never been there before, and you're the head of
Microsoft
Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Check this out. This is my favorite plane, the Junkers Ju-52 3-motor. Amazing.
And that is an awesome plane. And as I look at all these planes around here, it makes me ask the question, are you going to put all of them in Flight Sim?
Maybe not all of them, but we hope a lot of them. In the 40th anniversary that comes out this fall, we already have 3. We have the Wright Flyer,
Free.
Spirit of St. Louis, and the DC-3.
That's not.
And we hope to get a few more.
That's not a lot.
Nick and I were talking. There's a lot of things we could do.
Yeah, we started with the most iconic ones, and who knows? There's no lack of opportunity.
Well, I've never heard of
I
them.
keep saying amazing
So-
because this place is amazing, and just like Flight Sim, it just keeps going. So what else is happening?
It does seem like we're going supersonic, like the Concorde here. We've been doing a major update
Poor
ever since we
Concorde.
launched, every month since August 2020. And just today, we're actually launching World Update 10. And guess what?
Tell me.
It's the United States. And it's huge. We have a dozen cities, a new height field, brand new aerials, new missions, new airports, new everything. And as always, it's free. And check out this beauty. This is the Beechcraft Model 18. They call it the Twin Beach. It's a famous plane, and that's also launching today. And it's a great coincidence.
It's actually a huge coincidence. Jorg's been working on that Beechcraft since before we met, but it's a great example of how much we already had in common.
So Jorg, what can we expect the rest of the year from Flight Sim?
We have a ton of great things coming up. So today is World Update 10. We have 2 more World Updates, one in August and one in October. And then in November, we have the big 40th anniversary edition, which will be an absolute delight for anyone who loves aviation.
Okay, that 40th anniversary edition. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so we're celebrating by bringing back some of the planes from the old sims, like from Flight Sim 10, 9, 8, even before that. And we're restoring some of the old missions, and we're bringing back some of the airports that were in those editions. So it's a real celebration of the franchise.
So this celebration is not only of the franchise, but the past as well.
And we're also adding brand new things on top of it, like that the community really wanted. For example, helicopters. Sobo wrote a brand new fluid dynamic system to make all that work. And then we're adding gliders, which is a completely different way to experience the planet. It's just you and the wind. Right. And then the last one is we're bringing, it's the biggest deal for simmers, a brand new real-to-life airliner, the A310 from Airbus, by a brand new partner called Unibuilds, a great development team. In fact, of the 10 planes we're bringing, most of them are created in collaboration with third parties. So it's a really cool way for us to integrate with the creator community.
Now, how do I get this?
If you're on Game Pass, if you already own Flight Sim, the 40th anniversary edition is a free upgrade.
This has just been an incredible experience, seeing all these planes and going through the history and everything that's coming to Flight Simulator. I mean, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming to DC. Paris, thank you, Nick, for the great collaboration with the Smithsonian and for kicking off the 40th anniversary edition of Flight Sim. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Today was a good day, but now I have a need for speed. I'm headed to the danger zone, baby.
No. Oh dear.
Estamos aquí para disfrutar del mejor día de mi vida, el día de la
Well, you need to get out more if that's the best day of your life. Jesus.
I came Madrid just yesterday to be here in FanFest Xbox, and I'm so excited.
Estamos aquí en Madrid para ver nuevos juegos como Starfield, que yo personalmente le tengo muchísimas ganas.
Me ha encantado y no me lo podía perder. Este es un evento único.
Why gaming? Just a passion.
Son experiencias únicas. Me ofrecen algo que no encuentro en otro lado.
Lo que te digo, es como una familia para mí.
Me ha parecido genial y un cierre para un evento así maravilloso.
Just the passion that people have. I feel very welcome.
High on Life. What is this game? Was this shown at the showcase? I can't remember.
We're just a snippet of Squanch Games, and we're here to talk about High on Life, our new action-adventure, comedy, Metroidvania, first-person shooter that is nothing at all, a little bit like Microsoft Excel.
All right, you're
this
a bounty
game.
hunter now. You gotta help me rescue my friends. They're Gatlians,
Rick
just like
Morty.
That's our game, High on Life. Pretty insane. There's a lot to talk about.
Let's dive in. So Justin, you're typically known for working in animation. What brings you into the world of games? Why are you in the world of games?
Yeah. I'm obsessed with games. have been my whole life. Always had ideas, always had, things I would love to make, but just never thought I could ever step into that arena because I lack all the skills needed.
You don't know how games work.
Other than like creative direction, creative ideas, like other than that, I lack all the skills to execute.
But that's why, that's part of why you want to start Squanch, right? Is like to be able to have an idea like that and let it grow to something amazing.
And to be able to be creatively.
So that's the actual creator or co-creator.
And that was sort
of Rick and
the
Morty.
spark that just
And he voices the
lit
characters.
the fire
okay.
of Squanch Games.
I've
And
never
then
seen it, so
we shipped Trover,
I don't know.
and we shipped Accounting Plus, and now we're on this absolutely dream game. This is like our real legit swing at like a proper, like we're indie, but like this is like our AAA, like, or is it triple I for indie?
We're triple I.
Yeah. This is a triple I game.
So the story of our game mostly follows like Earth being invaded by this evil criminal cartel of aliens who come in and kidnap humans and start selling them on the black market like they're drugs. And you're the one human who has to team up with a talking gun and stop them.
And when you select a cartel leader that you're gonna go after, like, it opens the portal door to that world that they're in.
Eric, can you tell us a little bit about the worlds of the game, the art style of the game, the visuals?
Yeah. So we spent a lot of time kind of constructing and creating these awesome alien worlds. Myself and Mikey Spano, who is our art director, him and I worked like a ton on the sort of art direction of the game. He really kind of landed in this space, which was kind of Blade Runner meets the Muppets. So we're trying to capture that feeling with all of our characters, especially our aliens. And then each world is its own kind of unique flavor, right? I think some of the ideas came from
I think this is the only game that we've actually seen
we wanna have
extended
an
stuff
awesome
from.
alien, like drug-dense spa on an asteroid. And yeah, what makes me really excited is the sort of really clear and like it's almost deceivingly simple narrative, right?
Save the Earth, humans or drugs, talking guns. Ta-da.
So Alec, who are the guns? What's their deal?
The guns are these talking alien Gatlians. They're all shaped somewhat like a gun you'd find on Earth, but they've evolved to be just gun-like in their own way. And so this race of Gatlians each has their own unique personality, their unique set of abilities, and you're going to be rescuing them from this evil alien cartel, and together,
I do want to play
you're gonna
this,
stop
actually.
the bad guys.
And get more Gatling.
It's out pretty soon as well. It's out this year, I
Yeah,
think.
a lot of players are gonna have very different experiences depending on what gun they favor.
Yeah, you kind of pick your favorite companion to have out a lot and hear their dialogue, be part of different dialogue scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
These guys actually seem like real human
Sometimes you can
beings. It's
unlock the guns in
crazy.
a different order than another player has. So
That's
when you
right.
go back through a level, you'll see things that
Zip
you wouldn't have been
lines
able
as
to access
well,
if you
like
done it in
Bioshock
the other order.
Infinite. Oh my god. Okay, this looks good.
All right, so
I
we
really
talked
like the
about
look of
this
this.
crazy good game that sounds
It's the first
amazing.
good
Why
thing.
should people be excited?
It looks
to play
awesome. It doesn't look
As a
jank. It looks great.
studio, We are
It looks great.
attempting to bring A-level adult comedy into video games.
Something I love about Squanch is we would put a lot of effort into things that a lot of other studios wouldn't even bother with, like a single small joke that 5 players might find.
Well, okay. Now I can. I love that stuff. I love like edge casing and like
That's what makes you remember a game.
yeah, like if a player's trying to break the game in a certain way and then you have an answer for that for them, that is like such a memorable and amazing moment. It's almost like watching TV, but the viewer is able to reach into the TV and poke a thing, and the character has to respond to that. And there's so much fun to be had for the
You can
most
skip
part.
it all. We worked really hard on it if you want to skip it.
Yeah, if you want to just like miss out on like,
Yeah,
some
if you're
of
like
the
a big
coolest...
dummy and you don't want to play the game at all, that's fine. We're not going to judge you. We're just going to be upset.
October, yeah, it's out October, yeah. It's better than Call of Duty, and it's out in the same month.
This is gonna be fun.
What the hell is this? Did we see this in the? Why didn't they show this in the actual showcase? Oh, it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Have we seen any gameplay from this before? Oh, not another multiplayer one. Fuck off. I hate those. They're all the same. It's Obsidian, so it's probably going to be good.
Pentiment is a narrative adventure game set in 16th century Bavaria, which is part of the Holy Roman Empire. You play a character named Andreas Mahler, who is an artist working at a Benedictine abbey. He gets involved in a series of murders and scandals and tries to unravel them over a period of about 25 years. The name Pentiment, it is specifically referring to paintings in which there's an older painting underneath the painting that you see on the top. And if you scrape away the top layer, you see what was left behind. This has a bunch of significance. Obviously, you're playing a painter, but also it has a lot of significance to the idea of history kind of being covered and uncovered over time. When I saw narrative-driven games with really distinctive art styles, I was inspired to make a historical game that focused on the unique art style of the early modern period that was really driven by the relationships between characters and the stories that played out over time.
Stupid,
Anna
sexy
Kennedy was really
Flanders.
integral to defining the art style of Pentiment, especially blending the late medieval illuminated manuscripts with the early modern woodcuts.
It's a CD.
Yeah, so there's a lot of major points to solve and kind of marry between wanting this to be a true to the history, true to the feel of the source material that we were referencing as far as the narrative, but also thinking about the types of games that were like what we imagined we wanted as far as a gameplay experience.
From the beginning, I knew that I wanted to portray a community that changed over time, which meant that characters are changing over time. That's really the focus of everything. The buildings do change, but really it's the characters where you see all the crazy stuff happen.
Kids that I had become attached to because it's a 4-year-old and we designed them to be a 4-year-old and then they're getting married and then I felt a weird like emotional reaction to that because I'm like, oh, baby's all grown up.
I think the 16th century has always been really interesting to me because it was a time of such social upheaval in Europe. I think when we look at social change in the past, it seems like it's a thing that always happens outside of our time. But right now, I think we're maybe more aware than ever that social change is happening constantly, and people are always struggling with it. It's always a difficult process. And so I hope that by looking at people from the past, we can see that even though the setting might be different and the specific issues might be different, ultimately we always struggle with social change.
Is it though? It seems to be mostly the same issues. Religion, sex, drugs. It's mostly the same things. Violence.
It's putting on this bandana.
All right, let's do crime.
So how do you actually play this game? We've got no idea yet.
It's such a bad idea.
All you had to do was keep your mouth shut.
I'm gonna override this.
Is your life
Oh,
mission to cause harm?
Point and click,
This is my
basically.
favourite
It's like The
shot.
Walking Dead type thing.
With As Dusk Falls, what we're trying to do is to make a brilliant interactive experience for anyone who loves brilliant storytelling.
Why don't you just
So
make a
people who
fucking
enjoy
TV
films,
show?
People who enjoy TV series. It's also a social experience and about sharing these stories with the people you love.
I think we should stick to the plan.
Yeah,
stick to the plan.
I took my inspiration from TV shows.
Oh, it's one of these things. I've seen something like this before.
Fargo,
I can't remember what it was called. I need to look it up.
It's such a wonderful setup.
You try that again, and every last one of them leaves in a body bag.
When you write for interactive stories, it's all about the stakes. You want big choices, the tentpole ones that everyone will remember from the
It's
chapter
barely
they played.
a
Also,
video
you
game.
weave in the smaller stakes.
Probably going to be
the
like an
drama,
hour and a half
like
long.
The relationships. Are you gonna stay married?
In multiplayer, basically, you just vote on what choice you're going to do. That's what the multiplayer is.
You okay?
The game deals with very
Oh,
mature
look,
themes.
two choices.
That you don't
Wow,
normally
it's
find
like
in a
black and
video
white.
game. It really gives you agency over characters that are relatable, that are familiar to you. It's like an interactive story, but with the power of video game behind it.
I only gotta yell and my brothers will come.
Now hold your horses, young man. I think you should at least listen to what I have to say.
In the first book, it's mainly structured around a hostage situation in a motel in the middle of the desert in Arizona, so it's a pressure cooker.
You want your wife to live? Answer and do exactly what I say.
Book 2 takes another approach entirely, and it's a chase across multiple states in the US.
There's nowhere else to run.
As Dusk Falls is an interactive show, but the important part here is the word interactive. The players are very much needed to help the character on their journey and decide what's going to happen to them, help them grow and change.
It's not like there's one golden path. There's so many different ways through the story.
You can replay it, and then you get to like different story and different ending, and you feel like you're actually achieving something and shaping the story and also the character.
Some of your true self comes out into that thinking.
I don't know, what would you do? I'll try to, yeah.
And at the end of the game, when you play, we tell you about your playstyle, and it reveals something about the player themselves, their values, and the way they interact with the others that they played with.
I think for me, one of the really important things was that this art style could tell lots of different types of stories. We want to take really beautiful, sort of subtle facial performances, really strong dramatic moments, and just really represent that such that every frame is a painting.
It's a single player and multiplayer experience, so 1 to 8 players.
Because we wanted to draw in people who weren't necessarily gamers. Gamers are going to love this game as well because it's a very mature, in-depth
Why would you
story.
make
But this game really taps
a game
into
for
your
people
life
who don't
skills
play
rather than
games?
your
That doesn't
gamer
make any
skills.
sense. That
It's
literally
everyone
makes
on
no
a level
sense.
playing
I've
field.
never.
You
It
did
makes
well
no
there.
sense.
Ferocious.
You share the same character, you discuss, you make decisions, and majority
That's why you
wins.
have different
It's
types
like
of
each
media
player
for
is
people who like
like a
different
voice
types
in
of
the character
things.
head.
Are you taking the money this time?
I am definitely not.
Take the cash. It's been a massive journey, and I can't believe we're just like so close, touching distance to this game. Yeah, I'm gonna miss it when it's done.
Let's check out what.
But they're not gonna like
mysteries,
non-gamers
adventures,
aren't gonna
and,
play a game
of
like that
course,
and then suddenly be
slimes
playing
are
like
waiting for us in the new
God of
vibrant
War
world
or
of
Uncharted.
Slime Rancher 2.
you know, they're gonna play that game and that's it. I hated the first one. I played it a little bit and it stressed me out so much. I hated it. Hot Wheels coming to Forza again. For the second time. Strawberries. Yahoo! Yahoo! They're like the things from Super Mario Galaxy. Yahoo! Nooks and crannies. Nooks and fannies. You can fly. They've all gotten out. Oh no! Yeah, it was just so stressful playing this. Well, the first one at least. So, like an actual announcement. Why didn't they show that in the fucking first showcase?
All right, time to get going.
Go away, Larry.
For a while, put this in here. Australia. Passport. I need a passport. Where's my passport? Passport.
Americans don't have passports. Oh, not the koalas.
All right. Where's my Uber? All right, let's go. Let's go. Oh.
Welcome back to Melbourne. It is so great to be here in person. Get ready for the showcase.
Don't they have anyone in Australia that they could ask? Instead of Larry. Like my dad has started playing games again, and he's not interested in something like that. He's gonna play like, you know, he's playing like Uncharted and stuff like that. He's not gonna play that interactive show.
We are here in Melbourne with FanFest.
We are so excited to tell you all about Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels, the first expansion for Forza Horizon 5. So Mike, let's start with why the team decided to bring Hot Wheels to Forza Horizon 5's Mexico.
Our fans have been telling us for years about how much they loved Forza Horizon 3's Hot Wheels expansion. So we've been waiting for the right time to bring everyone another Hot Wheels adventure. Forza Horizon 5 presented the perfect opportunity to bring Hot Wheels to life like never before with the power of the Xbox Series X and S.
It really does sound like the perfect time
What
for
about the
Forza
Xbox
Horizon
One?
and Hot Wheels.
It's on
so
the
I'm
Xbox
wondering
One.
If you can tell us a little bit more about what to expect being in the clouds of Mexico this time.
Yes, you travel to the clouds above Mexico to visit the Hot Wheels Park, which is comprised of over 200 kilometers of the fastest, most extreme tracks yet.
It's
Once
like
there, you'll join
that
the Hot
game
Wheels Academy and
that I
set out
can't
to
remember
take
the
on
name
Forza
of
Horizon's
that I've
most
played
extreme
before.
racing yet.
What's
and
it
prove
called?
yourself a Hot Wheels
Shit.
legend.
I don't remember.
As well as the
Made-
iconic
published by
orange
Ubisoft.
Hot Wheels track, you'll take on
All
new
about
driving
speedrunning
experiences across
in
gravity-defying magnet tracks, as well
Trackmania.
as ice, water flume, and rumble tracks.
So we spoke loads about biomes in the build-up to Forza Horizon 5's launch. Are we expecting something similar in Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels as well?
Yes, so we're truly going to see the power of the Xbox Series X and S when we look at Forza Horizon 5
What are
Hot
you
Wheels
talking
all
about?
new biomes. The amount of detail and
That
diversity
doesn't mean
that we
anything.
can
The S
pack into
is
the four
really
new
underpowered,
biomes is
and the X is
We have the
as
rugged
powerful as the
Giant Canyon,
PS5.
where you'll hear the growl
They're
of their
about the
engine
same.
bouncing back off the intricately detailed
Doesn't mean
rock
anything.
formations.
This could be done on the
ice
PS5
cauldron,
easily.
Where frozen tundra drips into the glistening molten lava. In Forest Falls, you'll see a tree canopy towering over epic waterfalls. And finally, the visually stunning and exhilarating Horizon Nexus. where the Horizon Festival is suspended among a web of Hot Wheels tracks. And there's more, because new players can jump into Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels as early as possible during the main game's initial experience.
And how are people going to be able to use Event Lab in Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels?
So in Event Lab, you'll have the freedom to design, build and share using the new Hot Wheels Creation Kit. That's over 80 new track and stunt pieces.
I'm
that
reading a
instantly
script
snap
behind
together
your
thanks
head.
to our new building tools. You can then share your creations with
Wow,
the
that's
entire
so
community
awkward.
for players to discover and play.
He doesn't even
We
know
are
what he's supposed to be
anticipating our community
saying.
building an ever-evolving
Why is it
catalogue
scripted?
of new player-created
It's supposed to be an
Hot Wheels
interview.
events that
What's the point of an
everyone will
interview
enjoy.
if
They all
it's
sound
scripted?
absolutely incredible, Mike, but I'm going to ask you the most important question in the room. Can you tell me a bit more about the cars?
Yes, so we have 10 new amazing cars coming to the pack, including 4 new Hot Wheels cars, which have been scaled up to real-life proportions. We have the Diora 2, the Bad to the Blade, the Baja
That's not a
Bone
lot.
Shaker, and the Chevrolet Hot Wheels Copo Camaro. Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels introduces the most extreme tracks we've seen yet in Forza. So we've added some new extreme track toys and hypercars to go with them. I want to call out the Hennessy Venom F5 and the Mosler MT900 GT3. Their speed is unlike anything we've seen before.
So we know Forza Horizon 5 fans naturally love co-op, so how is that continuing in Hot Wheels?
So, in a first for Forza, you can join up with your friends and play from the very start of the experience in co-op. You and your friends will then take on a new campaign, moving your way up through faster and faster car classes until you unlock the extreme speed of X-Class and become a Hot Wheels legend. You can also choose to take on the world in Horizon Open or team up with your friends to take on a team of drivatars in the Horizon Tour.
Ooh, I absolutely love that. Final question now, though. When can we expect to play?
Yes, so Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels releases on July 19th on Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Windows PC and Steam.
Mike, thank you so much for joining me. This has been so much fun and I cannot wait to play.
Fall Guys, it's going free to play, so everybody can play it. It's already a free to play game anyway, really, with all the microtransactions that are in it. It should have been from the start. We got Master Chef coming to Fall Guys. These are all the bodies I've claimed and I've hung them up. Look, it's the Master Chef. It was leaked before the show. There he is. The Master Chef, and is that the Arbiter? I don't know. I can't tell. Is it elite? Ooh. Believe.
Now, onto our next block, pun intended of course. Minecraft Legends is the action strategy take on the franchise you never knew you needed. I'm here with Dennis Rees from Mojang Studios, who has just released the world premiere trailer of Minecraft Legends. Dennis, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Malik.
So happy to have you. I mean, this is a really exciting time for the team. Let's talk Minecraft as a whole, though. That game, I have nothing to back this up, but I feel like everyone on the planet's played Minecraft at this point. But that wasn't enough for you all. You all went and made
It's
Minecraft
the biggest game
Dungeons,
ever,
and
I
now
think.
we're moving on to the recently revealed Minecraft Legends. So one, tell me a little bit about what it means for the team to actually be able to reveal the game, and then two, just let us know what Minecraft Legends is.
Well, we are so excited to finally be able to talk about this game with the world. We've been working on this game for some time now. Minecraft Legends is an action strategy game. Is set in the Minecraft universe. And in order to build this, we really wanted to partner with a great company that understands strategy games. And so that's when we reached out with Blackbird Interactive. And in doing so, we were able to create an experience that is welcoming for people who may have not played Minecraft, but also people who have. And I mean, you've seen
Yeah, that would be the
trailer.
target
It's about
demographic.
going
The
and
people who have
traveling
played
through these
Minecraft,
beautiful
playing a
biomes,
Minecraft game.
exploring this world that is familiar yet still mysterious. And so as you explore these lush biomes, you collect resources, and then you use those resources to build defenses from these dangerous but very cute piglins. And in those offensive, you're
Why are you
able
killing
to,
them
to
then?
fight them back and send them back to where they come from.
No.
And you know what? You're going to probably want to build some alliances with some unexpected friends because they're going to help you actually defeat the piglins and send them back to where they come from.
I'm looking forward to it, and I love what you said about trying to make a game that's both for fans of Minecraft that exist and new fans coming in. Minecraft can go in so many different directions, I feel like, with a new game. What made you choose action strategy?
Well, really, it was many years ago, as a group of folks at Mojang sitting around talking about what game genres they really enjoy. And action and strategy were the most popular ones that came up. And so we started to think about who we could partner with to build that experience. And that's where we came into Blackbird Interactive. And that was back in 2018. And, the project was codenamed Badger. And an interesting little fact for many of those people that might follow Minecraft, if you go back to Minecon 2018 and you look at the shirt that Jens Berenstain was wearing, you'll see a graphic on there, and it's in the shape of a badger head. And really, that was meant to be an Easter egg for years forward, which here we are now.
I gotta say, I love a good Easter egg. Now, where would you say that Minecraft Legends fits in the overall Minecraft universe?
Well, the Minecraft universe is just always growing and expanding. And if
The
it's not
Minecraft
from our
universe?
communities, then it's from Mojang specifically. Like you mentioned, Minecraft
What, like the
Dungeons.
Marvel
That's a great
Cinematic
example where
Universe?
Mojang went out and we built this
You got the
dungeon crawler
Minecraft
experience
universe.
in the Minecraft universe, and players love it. It's wonderful. And with Minecraft Legends, we're trying to do something similar, really. And here we're going to be introducing a narratively driven campaign with a whole bunch of new characters and a lot of other things that I'm not ready to share right now.
Dennis, I thought we were friends. You can share it with me and everyone watching. No? Okay, I won't pry anymore. But tell us when the game is coming out and where we can keep up to date.
It's coming out in 2023 on PC and console on Xbox Game Pass. And if you want to know more, just follow us Twitter or jump on Minecraft.net.
Dennis, I'm so excited to jump into Minecraft Legends. Thank you so much for stopping by and giving us the lowdown.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, hey, Canada, eh?
What up, everybody? It's your boy Kirsten, aka K Von Doom, and we're here at Xbox Fan Fest. We got a whole lot for y'all to check out, so let's get it in.
Let's get it on. Aren't you a little short for a Master Chief?
They asked me what year Halo came out, won this sweet jersey. I couldn't believe when I was here on site that I would get to meet the real Master Chief.
Experience here, out of this world. It was really cool to see. I'm gonna go get
It's
my nails
a
done.
load of
Get the nail
hipsters.
station, and these things need to be painted.
Redfall looks dynamite, and come on, Diablo 4. Oh, it's so. Why are you so gruesome? All bloody things. No, but it's great. I love it.
What a day we had today. Thank you, everybody, for showing up to Xbox Fan Fest Toronto. Had a lot of fun, saw a lot of games, great experiences overall. Catch you in the next one.
Here we come. Are you ready for more? Standing, that's what we got. Coming in real high. We breaking down the ground.
Is that it? So they're not showing any Forza. I thought they would at least show like an extended Forza gameplay. No. Sarah Bond. 007. Autonauts. Oh, the Rumba game. Todges. I need to wishlist that. I couldn't remember what it was called. on Steam. There's a demo for it as well. I'll tell you, trying to find any demos on Steam is a nightmare. It's impossible. Here's 5 million demos. You've got to scroll through every one of them to try and find the one you want.
I'm joined now by Sarah Bond, who leads the gaming ecosystem organization here at Xbox. Sarah, it's so great to have you.
It is awesome to be here and so good to see you too.
Yes, I'm super excited for this conversation because as we know, game creators are crucial to Xbox's success. And whenever you talk about them, it's with such like passion and tenacity. I love it. And it sounds super important to you and the rest of Team Xbox. So my question to you is, how do creators inspire the work that you and your team do?
The creators are just the bedrock of everything we do on my team. You know, when you really think about it, where gaming really comes from is it starts with someone who has a creative idea that they choose to put into a game that we all get to experience and enjoy. And that's really the bedrock of our industry, of what motivates us, is to help those people, those developers, bring their stories out. And we think about it in 3 ways. You know, how do we create a vibrant and engaging gamer community for them to come to through Xbox? What are the set of tools and services that we give them that make it easier and faster and more affordable for them to make a game? And how do we create a range of business models that they can use? Because a business model really enables them to perform all sorts of different types of innovation.
Yeah, business models, tools, resources, all these provide choices, and it's increasing these choices for not only the developers, but the players themselves as well.
Yeah.
For example, you and your team just announced a new feature that's going to bring game demos to players. Can you tell us a little bit more about Project Moorcroft?
Project Moorcroft. I know. I love these project names. I wish they would just let me name it, but
Yeah,
they
just
won't.
say it.
I know.
You know,
They won't.
Can we change that?
Well, look, we were sitting around as a team and we were thinking about some of the things that we've always loved the most about the gaming industry. And one of them was, remember when you would go to like a show like PAX or E3, and you would go to the show floor and you get to play a demo or a piece of a game, and the developer would be right there next
wasn't
to
that
you,
long ago.
talking to you about
It was
their
only a few years
experience,
ago.
asking you to try things out, asking you your feedback. And that was one of the things I loved the most about those experiences. We just don't have them as much anymore, you know,
Because of
in the way that the
COVID.
world has evolved. And so we thought, gosh, how can we make
And the
Game Pass
monkeypox.
like that? Like, how can we use the power of Game Pass and all of the great discovery and player engagement that is in it and have it create for creators that opportunity to engage with fans early as they're creating their game, and also for players to get to experience something that they're really anticipating. And so that's what we're going to do. We're actually going to have a program that enables developers to take a piece, a level of their game, and put it into Game Pass so that they can get that great feedback and players can engage with them. And we know it's a lot of work sometimes for developers to do that, so we're also going to
They've invented
compensate them for their
demos.
participation in the program.
What?
I'm so excited for what's going to come when we launch that.
I think the one thing that we all miss is that connection, right? And now that we are able to come back into conferences and stuff like that, we still need to deepen it because
Yeah.
by deepening that connection, you're diversifying the voices, and then that in return helps to diversify the games and bring diversity into games.
Completely.
So how will Microsoft help to further that front?
Yeah, we think about it all the time, frankly, as Microsoft, as Xbox, in my team in particular, because creators is core to everything we do. You know, if you think about a game, it enables you to experience a perspective, a point of view, in a way that is deep and immersive, unlike any other form of media. So the importance
deep.
of everyone having an
Shoot
equal
gun,
opportunity
bang.
to share their story and their perspective through a game, and what it means to shaping our perceptions, to what we talk about, to what we believe, to broadening our perspectives, is critical. And we think about that all the time. So what we've done as a team is we're continuing to expand the set of developers who we're engaging with and bringing them into the Xbox ecosystem. We've actually more than doubled the number of developers that are making games for Xbox, and we saw lots of those games in the last
Because you
day, which has been
bought
pretty
them.
cool. And the other thing that we did this year is for the first
You
time
bought
ever, we actually
everything.
have a presence in Africa. We have our first Xbox employee in Africa, specifically dedicated to working with creators in the region.
So what message would you like to leave for creators who are interested in starting in the industry?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. People say to me, gosh, I would really like to be part of the gaming industry. I'd love to make a game.
Don't.
How do I break through? How do I get involved? I say, first of all, network, talk to people, meet people, connect with people, just how you and I connected actually at an industry event, which we met at, which was super fun. You know, build that network and that connectivity because it's so critical in every industry, but I think particularly in gaming, right? You know, go to industry conferences like GDC, meet people, learn, try that out.
I don't like
If
people,
you're interested in making a game for Xbox, you can actually go to github.com. You can actually download the Xbox Game Developer Kit and get started. And once you have a game concept, you can also submit it online through id@xbox.com, and then you can self-publish to Xbox, which is another great way. And of course, if you actually want to get involved in the industry, all companies are great, but I highly recommend you check out coming to work at Xbox. I'm biased, obviously.
I mean, hey, you have every right to be so. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today. And also, thank you to all the viewers for tuning into Extended. We've heard from so many amazing developers on today's show. Now, before we finish, is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
We were talking earlier about the importance of people being able to tell their story through a game and how incredibly powerful it is. I mean, when we were talking about that, I was thinking about an experience we've had as a team that's been very touching for me. So, you know, a couple years ago, we started really consciously extending the depth and breadth of content that we have in the Xbox ecosystem. And it was through that that I got to know the team making Stalker 2 really well. And I actually got to intro that game last year in the Xbox Game Showcase, and it was just incredible. And you know, the thing was, when I was looking at that game last year, and I was looking at the story that they were telling, and they were talking about the beauty of the land and their dedication to their culture and their country, and I thought, wow, this is a cool game. This is a compelling story. But sitting here today, you know, recognizing that that team is Ukrainian, they were based in Kiev, looking at that story and what they were showing to the world just feels entirely different and far more poignant and visceral to me. You know, this is a team who's talking about their culture, talking about fighting for the existence of being a nation, of being a people, of having their own language. And now we all, as a world, have gotten to see how tenuous that, in fact, is. And it's an honor, frankly, to be part of this industry and to have the opportunity to uplift their voices and to let their story be told through a gaming experience, especially knowing what we know now about the situation in Ukraine. And as part of that, they actually shared with us something that they wanted us to share with all of you today as part of the show.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh.
Yes.
It's quite a big, looks like quite a big team. Well, relatively bigger than I thought, I guess. Don't destroy the computers. No. That corgi! Save the corgi. Have they set up somewhere else then? Because it's still coming out. They delayed it though.
Работа, идеи, она не останавливалась. 3 месяца назад началась война России с Украиной.
Шок-код, рабочий день начинается с тревоги.
Сейчас сильних обстрілів. Ми біжимо в укриття.
Це переноска для мого кота, який загинув ще в перший тиждень війни.
Выходишь вечером, сирена, выходишь днем, сирена. Днем еще работать надо, поэтому особо не выйдешь, а вечером все время вот так.
Це моє робоче місце.
Вже 3-й місяць я живу і працюю в коридорі. Зі мною живе одноокий пес, врятований з-під обстрілу в Гостомелі. Зараз мені важко писати квести про війну, коли вона йде навколо.
Так работает в перерывах между сиренами і волонтерськими задачами.
Світ ще побачить, наскільки в нас класна культура, і в тому числі, наскільки класні ігри ми можемо робити.
Меня зовут Александр. Я являюсь сотрудником компании ЖСК. Я с Мариуполя. С начала боевых действий была потеряна связь с моими родными и близкими. И это непередаваемое, ужасное чувство, когда ты не знаешь, живы они или нет.
Я Дмитро Ясенєв, розробник Сталкера. Ніколи не міг уявити, що в 21 столітті в центрі Європи може статися повномасштабна війна.
Я Олексій Іванов, ком'юніті-менеджер проекту Stalker 2. Зі зброєю в руках захищаю свою країну від російської агресії.
Привіт, я Макс, наративний дизайнер гри Stalker 2.
Don't criticize Stalker 2. These guys will come and fuck you up. Actual gameplay? So if these guys can show this stuff and they've got a fucking war going on, what excuse do the other people have?
Last question, Dr. Dallin. Are you sure the perimeter surrounding the zone is really enough? If a powerful emission were to occur, we would...
Listen, the zone has remained stable for years. Besides, we didn't establish the most advanced institution in human history without first guaranteeing its safety. As the head of the Scientific Institute for Research of the Chernobyl area, or CERC for short, I believe the wonders that we will bring to the world far outweigh the potential risks.
How big are these risks exactly?
The zone reveals a whole new world. We can stick with the old one, fearing change. But tell me, do you want our descendants to remember us as cowards? Or as those who dared to venture forward to a new, better humanity?
Is that ray tracing? I don't know. I can't tell.
I remind our listeners that a similar incident happened in our region quite recently, ruining homes and livelihoods. However, city officials urge people to stay calm, assuring them the situation is totally under control.
Stalker 2. The Death Stranding. Well, there we go. All I gotta say is they definitely hyped it up way too much. If why can't they just be honest? If they just said, "Oh, it's a stream full of developer interviews," then no one would have been, you know, people would have had their expectations in check. We didn't really see any extended gameplay from anything apart from that Rick and Morty thing, and that was about it. And that looked awesome, but that was about it. So very misleading, really. Not necessarily any reason to have this. It feels to me like they just do it just for the sake of it, but I feel like you don't have to do it just to do it. Xbox support the Nazis, apparently. The Nazis? Where are the Nazis? Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of people pissed off about that, I reckon. Xbox have got political. Like during like the introduction montage, they showed Forza. That wasn't there. I feel like if the introduction doesn't represent the show, then what the hell are you doing?
I know what the...
Where is it? Here. The introductory montage had like Forza in it. No Forza. No Forza to be seen at all. No Forza. I want to see actual gameplay from Forza. Proper gameplay. Like, how about like one full lap of a track or something? They could have done that. But there you go, Forza. And it never showed it. They didn't even show that. Didn't show the Pelican in the actual thing. Didn't show that in the actual showcase. They showed that. Didn't show Diablo 4 in the showcase. Didn't show that. Didn't show that. Didn't show that. They showed that. Didn't show that. Didn't show Arc 2 in the showcase. Didn't show that. Didn't show Overwatch 2. Didn't show Sea of Thieves. Didn't show Persona. They didn't show A Plague Tale in there. Didn't show that game. I feel like the montage at the start should be like a preview of what's coming, but I guess not. I guess not. There was a Capcom showcase last night, but it was very late. It was 11 o'clock, and I was asleep by like 7 because I got up early, had to go somewhere, and was tired. I think I did read a little bit of what they showed off, but didn't like spoil myself, I guess. So I'm just gonna like have a quick run through. So I know they announced Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak got a demo. I don't know, is the demo out now? Try out the demo. Try out the demo now. Let's have a look on the Switch quickly. I'm guessing it's on the Switch, or is it on PC? Because didn't they say that the expansion will release at the same time on everything? Demo available June 14th, which is today. It's on Switch and Steam. Oh my god. Okay, so I don't need to download it on the Switch then. I'm not really a Monster Hunter person. I don't not like it. It's just not something I'd necessarily play. Oh, this game! Have they actually shown gameplay of this? It's the dinosaur game with millions of dinosaurs.
Welcome to Pikitoa Island.
Pikitoa Island? It's not Dino Crisis, it's something different. It looked a bit like Anthem, but with dinosaurs. And my god, the bitrate on this is so low. It's so blurry. I feel like this game is going to die instantaneously. It looks very generic. Frame rate pretty bad.
You seek to evolve, yet you do not want to change. You tear down curtains, yet fear revelations. Even when what is revealed is of your own creation.
Third person Overwatch
Combat data is
with
required
dinosaurs.
to develop the exosuit. At IBS, we're always reaching for better. Always.
At IBS? Sounds like IBS.
An interesting variable. Within your behavior lies the answer. What is variable shall become fixed.
Kind of reminds me of Earth Defense Force as well, a little bit. But with dinosaurs.
And die for me. Carnage module online. 7%.
You got a tornado of dinosaurs.
Calculated at 8.7%. You must fight harder than ever if you wish to.
Game. Developed by Ibius Corporation, Leviathan is a next-gen AI that guides players throughout Exoprimal via voice navigation and augmented reality displays. Leviathan appears before players as a massive human-like figure, or as a surveillance drone called a Watcher. The trailer shows Leviathan unleashing hordes of dinosaurs. Players will battle these dinosaurs after being forced into Leviathan's infinitely repeating wargames. Why is Leviathan bringing dinosaurs into our world? And why is Leviathan repeating these wargames? Solve the mystery by playing the main game mode,
Dino Survival.
Let me provide a brief gameplay introduction. Exoprimal is a team-based action game.
Can you play it on your own though?
In Dino Survival, 2 squads of 5 race to complete objectives.
2 squads of
Teams
5.
must follow Leviathan's directives and complete the mission before their rivals to win. These directives will
So it's a
feature
multiplayer
dynamic mix
game.
of missions. In
Oh.
fact, we just saw some in the latest trailer.
Boo.
Dinosaur Call, where teams must eliminate a specific dinosaur. In VTOL Defense,
This
teams
game's gonna
protect an
die
aircraft
immediately.
from dinosaur
No one's gonna
onslaughts.
give a shit.
In Data Key Security, teams escort a valuable asset to its destination.
Yeah.
Destroy targets in Omega Charge with the powerful Omega Hammer. In Energy Taker, teams compete to collect the most energy. You also saw a glimpse of a strange and terrifying creature known as a Neo-Tyrannosaurus. While there are situations where you directly engage enemy players, there are other times where you band together with rivals to take down a major foe. This variety of missions will keep players on their toes. In Dino Survival, the missions change based on players' progression through the game. The experience will be different every time you play, even in matches with familiar surroundings and objectives.
There's that word again.
By playing Dino Survival, you will unlock story sequences and also earn rewards such as experience points to increase your player
Is it
and
free?
exosuit levels. We'll provide more details about this at a later date.
Is it free?
Now that we've detailed Dino Survival, let's move on to
Exosuits. It's coming 2023.
2023.
Is it free?
Until then, keep an eye on our website. In 20, you join in.
Don't know. There's a closed network test. Okay.
That's all for today.
Dragon's Dogma 10th anniversary. Let me guess. There's no Dragon's Dogma 2 though. So many fucking developers, so many companies, publishers have amazing IP that they're doing fuck all with. Dragon's Dogma being one of them.
Hi everyone, I'm Hideaki Itsuno, game director at Capcom. A few weeks ago, we celebrated the 10th anniversary of Dragon's Dogma. Thanks to all of you for joining us in this celebration.
Yeah, I got it for my birthday, actually.
The world of
10 years
Dragon's
ago.
Dogma has since spread to various different kinds of media.
But we won't make a sequel
Games
because
such
fuck
as
you.
Dragon's Dogma and the Dark Arisen expansion. to
The Dark Arisen expansion came out 9 years ago.
animated series. In the coming days, we will be releasing a video celebrating 10 years of Dragon's Dogma, talking about how and what Dragon's Dogma came to be. So whether
We
you're
know
a
what it came to
longtime
be.
fan or just
We
curious
played it.
about the series, we'll have something for you to enjoy. We hope
Here we go. So there was tons of stuff for Resident Evil Village. There's a third-person mode. They're adding Lady Dimitrescu to the Mercenaries, and they're doing a DLC where you play as Rose,
Enjoy the game. Thank you for your support.
which kind of fucked a load of fan theories up.
Continues to bring fun experiences to people around the world. We want longtime fans and people who are
Things even Chris doesn't know I can do.
And it's third person. The Rose bit is third person, apparently. It's a very long time took them to make this. Is it going to reuse like all of the fucking assets from the main game?
Shut up.
She's back in the castle, in the main castle. Leave now. Go while you can. So it's set 16 years after the game. What the fuck? That was the mold. The mold's back.
Now we have a new little rabbit
Oh my god. The merchant. Is the merchant going to be the 5th, you know, guy you fight? Maybe. He was supposed to be in the main game. Feels like cut content.
It's time. Marking the target.
So you can play as Chris Redfield, Heisenberg, and Dimitrescu in the Mercenaries mode. Okay. No release date for it yet, is there? Or is there? And you can play the game in third person. So it's set 16 years after the main game, apparently. That's what I heard. And so that kind of fucks up the whole Rose aging prematurely fan theory. That means she ages normally, clearly. And RE-verse is coming. Is this all coming? Is that the same day as... No, it's not the same day as... Is that the same day as Call of Duty? Is that the same day as Call of Duty?
To reveal the DLC for Resident Evil Village we promised last June. We think this new experience will be worth the wait.
I hope so.
This DLC includes 3 major features. First, the third-person mode.
You've got to pay for that. The third-person bit.
For this, and we were able to add it into the game. Now, you'll be able to see Ethan as he desperately
I won't replay it in third person. I've beaten it twice already.
Enjoy the new perspective and animations too. The Mercenaries returns with additional
Mercenaries
was
pretty meh. Definitely
of defeating relentless hordes
one of the weakest mercenary modes in a Resident Evil game. Might be fun to play it for a little bit with the new characters.
Of course, Lady Dimitrescu will be there too. We've really fueled this mode up. Enjoy looking down on your foes from over 9 feet above as Lady Dimitrescu slashes her enemies aside.
Okay.
The third edition is one you've surely been waiting for. An additional story, Shadows of Rose. Today, let me introduce just a bit of this story.
Rose, the beloved daughter of the main protagonist Ethan, is now a grown-up main character in this new story mode. In this sequel to the main story of Village, you can experience Rose's struggles with the terrifying powers she was born with. To break free of the curse of her powers, she enters the consciousness of the Megamycete.
Okay. So it all takes place in a dream, basically, in a way.
In this mysterious realm of consciousness, time and space is warped.
It's like the evil within.
Rose is guided by a being who calls himself Michael.
This is different. This is weird. They've never done anything like this in Resident Evil before. Yeah, third person. That's weird.
In the realm of consciousness, you won't only face creatures, but the world itself.
But you can't play it in first person.
Enjoy the horror of the world itself.
This feels like such a lazy way of reusing all the main areas from the normal game.
How will Rose find freedom from her mysterious powers?
Do you get to use her powers in the game?
The DLC for Resident Evil Village Winter's Expansion includes all 3 of these major additions. In addition,
I feel like the Mercenaries and third-person mode should be like a free update, really.
The base game will be released simultaneously. The release date is planned for October 28th, 2020.
The same day as Call of Duty. Are you stupid? Right, I played the closed beta, the beta for this. I actually liked it. It's just a bit of silly fun.
How did you like that?
How'd you like that?
Also, as already announced, we are working on making the main story of Village available on Mac, so that even more people can enjoy Resident Evil.
Mac. Really?
In addition, the main story of Village is planned to be playable on PlayStation VR 2.
What about PC?
We're working hard on bringing you the ultimate immersive experience worthy of next gen in Resident Evil Village. So look forward to future announcements. Up next, a game that was announced just a few days
So apparently
ago.
they showed a tiny, like, snippet of gameplay for Resident Evil 4. Let's have a look. Down, battle down. Remakes. RE, remake. Last of Us remake, Resident Evil remake. Ole. Right, come on. Did you actually... I don't think they showed any gameplay, did they? That's the same. That's the same.
Even for a second.
It's so dark and edgy and
This time,
gritty
it can be different.
and so real.
It has to.
I'm Zac Efron.
Producer of Resident Evil 4.
Raccoon City incident and was assigned
So the actual gameplay is
the experience
here.
for returns, of course.
Wow.
Completely redesigned.
Let's take a closer look at the game itself.
The over-the-shoulder camera returns, of course. Leon arrives at a dense and dangerous forest.
Which is really bad for YouTube
The
compression.
feeling of loneliness and fear of not knowing what lies ahead, even more so than the original.
Really?
Of course, there will also
They've
be
gone for a
thrilling
very
battles.
different vibe with the color palette.
People that played the recent Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 should find this familiar. Look forward to future
Wow.
announcements, where we'll have more information on the game.
And you got the next gen updates for Resident Evil 7 2 remake and 3 ray tracing, basically. I wouldn't replay it because I don't have a ray tracing capable card. And I don't own the remake for the third game because it's shit. Shit. I just don't... I think we're such a long way away from ray tracing being actually worthwhile and noticeable for 99% of people.
Resident Evil 7, which brought the series back to its
And then we
survival
completely got
horror
rid of it in 8.
and the
Why?
reimagining of
You brought
classic
the horror
brands
stuff back,
like
and then for 8 you were like,
Resident
fuck it. We did it for one game, we're not going to do it again.
These three
Because we made 8 a completely action-orientated game.
gen features including support for 4K, high frame rate, and
Ray tracing that you can barely
as
see.
well as 3D audio for an even more immersive experience. These titles are available for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and Series S beginning today.
What about PC?
In addition, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One players can enjoy a free
But not
digital
PC.
upgrade to current gen via the digital upgrade program.
Or is it
and
just an
smart
update?
delivery.
Maybe.
For PC users,
Hey.
an update patch will be available on the same date.
Whoop whoop.
For newcomers and veterans of survival horror alike, we hope you enjoyed the
So that's
immersion
free.
these new versions offer.
But the third person mode for Village is not.
Welcome to the family. That's all for today's announcements. Thank you.
That wraps up
They showed off
today's
most of
show.
their
We
stuff
hope
in
you're
the
as
State of Play
excited as
that
we are
Sony
about
did
some of our upcoming games.
last week.
Thank you to
2 weeks
everyone,
ago.
new and old fans
Something like
alike
that.
for tuning in. We look forward to sharing more updates with you soon.
Monster Hunter Rise. What the hell was it called? I can't even remember what it's fucking called now. Didn't I just have this? Oh, it's Togs, not Tobes. Toge. Toge. This one. Ta-da. And a lot of the demos weren't available when they showed them off. You had to wait a few days for the demo to actually be available, which was annoying. So, Sunbreak. How the fudge do you download a demo for an expansion? How does it work? You just download the demo, and then you can play the Sunbreak bit in the demo. Let's have a look. Oh, it's not out yet. The demo's not out yet. Sure. Moo. Steam Fast Next. You've got only 7 days to play billions of demos. Fuck you. Should we make all the demos available forever? No, that's stupid. Why would you do that? I thought, didn't I have this demo installed already? Yes. So it says install demo even if I have it downloaded. That's dumb. Don't do that. Not that one. Let's play a few demos. I'm only gonna play a few at least today. Okay. Steam Fest Next. 20. Is this got like a particular one? Steam Fest Next. I guess summer. Summer 2022 demos. Games and demos. I spelled demos wrong. I'm gonna go get a drink and I'll be back. I'm probably gonna play Agent 64 because it's got a new demo, a new updated demo. I think it still says I played it from my previous time I played it, and I think it's coming out in November, something like that. So I'm excited.